Alright then guys, just for a little bit of a change, we're in the kitchen and I'm going to talk about a multifunctional chemical shortly. Well, it's in the title, so you know what I'm going to talk about. But first, I'd just like to introduce you to my other workshop, which I'm not as skilled here as I am at work, even though I do spend every single day in here at some point in time turning good food into shit. But hey ho, there we go. Yeah, so this weekend me and the missus have been around charity shops and we did a car boot sale as well, and this is basically for saving money, but also you find stuff just out of curiosity. And I want to show you one thing I got out of a car boot, which was a bag. This is for a bicycle, and she actually needs this for her little escapades on a bicycle. I'll wash this shortly, but you find stuff like this, and unfortunately it's fairly random, but it's worth foraging sometimes. I mean, 50 pence, okay? How much would that cost? £15 otherwise? Yeah, so yeah, it's one of those good things. But also, the pièce de résistance is kitchen items like these stainless steel pans or trays, which can be misappropriated for the garage, yes, or for working on your vehicle. You can either use it as a drip tray, or you can put parts in there to clean, or you can put your spanners in there as a tray so you keep everything together. Yeah, there's multifunctional uses, and of course when you finish with it, it's not like plastic, because you can clean these and then put them back in the kitchen without her knowing about it, can't you? Yeah. Now, just as a Mad Max scenario, if you had two of these, for instance, okay, stainless steel, that can be welded with a stick welder. If you had two of these, you could put them together, couldn't you? Weld them up and then drill a hole, weld on a neck with a filler cap, and you have a tank, don't you? You have a small, slim tank, yeah. And it's not the first time I'm suggesting this, because I've actually seen it, yeah. But unfortunately, foraging for good stuff like this takes time, so you have to have an interest in it and you have to have the time to do it, don't you? And usually what we do, if we're going somewhere, like I'm going to my mother's to see her, we'll stop off at a car boot sale early in the morning, see what's there, and then carry on to do the daily work, yeah. But we also did charity shops as well, which was a good thing. That I bought some clothes as well. Unfortunately, when it comes to clothes buying for guys, it's quite hard, because usually you find oversized clothes from guys who have lost a lot of weight. They put their clothes in the charity shop to get rid of them. Some of them are good quality as well, yeah. Whereas if you want to find sizes like 32 inch or 34 inch, it's a lot harder to find, yeah. But that's the reason why. It's the guys, we wear our stuff out until there's nothing left of them. Whereas females, on the other hand, they buy clothes all the time, they buy shoes all the time, and they never wear them out. So you find a lot of that stuff in charity shops, as well as domestic stuff. Like a knife like this, nice. £1, £1, yeah, £1. Yep, so, you know, just one of these things, another foraging thing, and I think as you get older, you start to do that more, don't you? If it's not looking for food, it's looking for items. And this world is just awash with stuff, bits and pieces and stuff that people don't want. They bought it, they've used it, and then they put it in a charity shop or try to sell it cheap to get rid of it rather than chucking it away. Recycling, if you like, yeah. So anyway, one of the things I am is a person that likes to find multifunctionality in either tools or items, okay. So not so much at work, because I do repetitive jobs doing the same thing over and over again. So what I will do sometimes is invest in tools to do those specific jobs if it's viable. Otherwise I will get a tool that will do one thing or two things or three things, okay. A hammer is always a useful tool, isn't it? But unfortunately it can't do some of the jobs you need to, yeah. It's not a delicate tool, but some people are really skilled at using hammers, aren't they? But what I want to talk about is a chemical which is bicarbonate of soda, yeah. Oh yeah, bicarbonate of soda. Well, actually It's baking soda, yeah, and I'll just show you there, bicarbonate of soda, which is a kitchen use, but it's also used for personal hygiene and for cleaning as well, okay? And there are a lot of applications for this stuff, and some of you already know you're using this stuff at home, aren't you? But what I've found is that I'm stocking up on bicarbonate of soda and a few other chemicals, rather than having loads of different cleaning agents and personal hygiene agents, okay? So, one of the biggest problems I have is smelly boots, because I wear boots all the time in all climates, cold to hot, and especially in the summer. Sweaty feet, I get athlete's feet, and also the trainers as well that I use, they get smelly after a while, they always do, don't they? So, this stuff, foot powder, yeah, which is supplied to the American military, okay, my boy brought this back with him when he was in the army. This actually has bicarbonate of soda in it, as well as tea tree and a little bit of lavender, but tea tree is an anti-fungicide, isn't it? Whereas this removes odors, it absorbs odors, okay? So you can douse your socks in it, put half a teaspoon in each boot, in your trainers, and that will get rid of the smell, yeah? It actually goes further than that, because you can also do your car carpets, sprinkle it on, let it absorb, and then hoover it out, same as the car as well. You mix it with vinegar, it can remove stains off upholstery, for instance, or oily, greasy stains. So there's another one. The vinegar also is a grease buster on its own, or acetic acid, yeah. So there's already functionality in that, yeah. You can use this as a deodorant by itself under your armpits. Now you'll know this when you've been working hard, you will start to smell like I do. I have a stinky teenager who is just oozing hormones. He sweats a lot, okay. Kills the bacteria under there, keeps the odour down, okay. The upside as well, not only for odour removal, but it also gives you sodium, which your body will absorb, and it helps as a hydration, okay. Downside is you get stains under your armpits if you're wearing dark clothing, so you have to be aware of that, but it's worth it if you don't smell, yeah. So you can brush your teeth with this, not this stuff, you can brush your teeth with this stuff as well. It's an abrasive, and unfortunately you can't use it every day, but it will remove brown stains, coffee stains, things like that if you use it once in a while, yeah. And of course you can use it as a cleaning agent in the house, exactly the same thing, and it will clean ovens if you have the patience to do it, yeah. Multifunctionality, that's the whole thing about it. So what you're doing is you're minimizing what you use, but maximizing your space, so you can have more of this stuff and know that you can use it for different purposes, yeah. From a medical point of view now, yeah, that's a bit of a dodgy subject, because some people use it, some people don't like it. It can cause you diarrhea. This you have to do your own research on. But for instance, for external use, you can wash in it, makes your skin softer, yeah, according to the missus. If you have a bee sting, for instance, or a wasp sting, or an ant bite, because the bite is acid, this will neutralize acids. And you, for instance, if you had a bite on your arm, you could put a little bit of paste on there, and then that will reduce the swelling and the irritation, okay. So that's another use, yeah. If you had acid reflux, for instance, you could use this to calm that down, because that will then neutralize the acids there. And of course it's sodium as well, which apparently some athletes use this for performance enhancing, which I don't know anything about. If you're interested in that, you can Google that as well. In fact, you can Google the uses of sodium bicarbonate, and you get masses of lists of practical applications for, yeah. For laundry, well, if you're like me, washing machine down here, I've got it on one setting. That's it, one setting I know how to wash stuff with. This will help whiten things like shirts, okay, cheaper than going to buy a special chemical that you're paying more money for, okay. It softens the water to a certain extent, and especially if you're like me in a hard water area, that does help. It helps bust limescale off things like taps, yeah. And if you have a problem like I do with a hard water area and you use soap, the soap dissolves in a certain way that it clogs the drains. So if you use bicarbonate of soda, chuck it down there, and then warm up some white vinegar, pour that down, that reacts and then cleans the drain out. That's another use for, yeah. Now, as I was talking about this being an alkaline, it will reduce the acid level, pH level. If, for instance, you had a battery acid splash, okay, you can use this to quickly neutralize that acid, okay. Obviously, if you've got it somewhere like in your eye or on your skin, you use copious amounts of water, but you can use this as well, okay, and this isn't going to kill you, yeah. So, yeah, there you go. In a nutshell, this thing is not a wonder chemical. It's been used forever. The Egyptians used this stuff for with other chemicals to dry out bodies for mummification. So yeah, that's a one. It's been around a long while, and even my mother at 86, she knows this stuff. She says, oh, that's great, there's plenty of uses for that. And of course you can use it for baking as well, yes. But the difference between baking soda and the chemical that you would find in a hardware shop, okay, because this is dry pack stuff. You can just about recognize the packet there, okay. This has got a leveling agent in it, okay. Sometimes I think you find cream of tartar in them as well, okay. But this is basically, this one was under the sink and it's absorbed some moisture, yeah. Although it's solid like that, all I need to do is just crumble it up and it turns back into powder and it's still useful, okay. So, you know, baking soda and vinegar, when you put it together, it causes a reaction, doesn't it? And it produces carbon dioxide, yeah. If it's heated up, it also causes or lets off carbon dioxide, and they do use these in fire extinguishers. But I use this quite extensively, and I bought a lot of this stuff rather than buying all the chemicals, yeah, and thinking I've got a fully stocked kitchen, because as I say, you're trying to maximize space and minimize what you've got. So this is a damn good one. There are other powders which I'm going to talk about later, one of those being citric acid as well. I do have a quite considerable stock of that, because that is brilliant stuff, yeah, for sterilizing, for storage, or in this case, I've been using coffee in this flask. I've got to now clean these out and put tea in them, because I'm now doing a fasting regime and I need green tea during the day, yeah. So there you have it, guys. There's only a few things. There's just a little bit of an insight into this. It's worth looking and investing some time in finding out more about it and the uses of, because on the internet, you know what the internet's like, there's guys that want to produce content and they find something interesting like what I'm telling you about, and they'll expand on it, okay. Sensible Prepper, he does do a video about bicarbonate soda. That's worth watching, and I'll leave a link below about that. And I do think Canadian Prepper talked about powders recently on a video, but he's glitzy, isn't he? The quality of his videos have gone up, so I'm just here. I'm just a man in a van, if you like. Yeah, well, some people will understand this, but I'm just doing basic things. This is real world stuff. It's not contrived. Yeah. So there you go. That's it. Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about just quickly is about charity shops and car boot sales. I've noticed the decline of car boot sales during COVID, but before, it seems to be an indication of when the economic situation very good. More people go out trying to get rid of stuff to make money, and there are more people looking for bargains to save money. And such is the same with charity shops as well. Double-edged sword with that, because A, you're getting possibly something you might need cheaper, and you're helping somebody as well. But when you start to see more charity shops in a town, or the volume of charity shops increasing, you know then the economic area or the economic situation of the area is starting to lower. And I think we're starting to feel this now. We're not getting as much for our money as we used to do, are we? And this is just recently. Look at the fuel prices are starting to go up incrementally, penny by penny by penny, but suddenly it's gone from 1.19 to, in some places, 1.40 for a litre of diesel, yeah. So nobody talks about it much, do they? But it's happening with food, it's happening with everything, isn't it? So you have to make do with what you can. And of course, my missus, the way she is, she would rather get a bargain, and she feels good about it, rather than buying expensive stuff, yeah? And I've clocked onto this because if I'm going to give her something, if I give her yellow label reduced flowers, she feels a lot happier that I'm not spending money on her, yeah? But I'm still getting her something. And incidentally, bicarbonate of soda, if you're buying flowers, yeah, get some of that and sprinkle it in the water vase, because that will keep the flowers fresher for longer. And of course, they like that, don't they? Females love that when you have flowers that last a lot longer, because they'll comment it after about 4 or 5 days. Oh, look how fresh they are. Yeah, so it's another use for some beaver points. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's enough from me. I shall see you in the next video. Take it easy.